Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me for an episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. I'm Eat, Smoke, Drink, and today I'm reviewing the SMWS Scotch Malt Whisky Society 29.190. It is a Laphroaig. This is a 17-year-old refill sherry butt. Now, most of the SMWS bottles that I see are actually ex-bourbon or bourbon casks, right? Or refill bourbon casks. So when I see a sherry cask, I always get excited because usually they're pretty good. I mean, you know, SMWS independent bottlers are probably my top 3 independent bottlers out there. I'm a big fan of them because they always have interesting iterations, interesting bottling, barrel selection and bottling selection. This one here is a Laphroaig, and it's a 17-year-old. And this, I've only got one sample today. Usually I've got 2, but I took this from the last tail end of our whiskey night, and so I only have 1 dram, and I will then put water in it later down the track. So I will nose it, taste it, and then put water in it, nose it, and taste it again, if I can remember that. All right, but look how dark that is. Beautiful, very dark. Let's get tasting. In some cases, in one way, you have quintessential Laphroaig. I'm getting that waft of peat. Laphroaig is one of the most iconic distilleries because, well, you know, peat-wise, they're heavy, they're resiny, they're oily, they're just absolutely smoky as hell. And Laphroaig is also one of the, you know, legend or not, one of the whiskies that were actually allowed to be imported into the Prohibition era in America because they thought who would drink such a medicinal thing. So let's get nosing. So quintessential Laphroaig. Rubber, fresh rubber, campfire smoke, burning wet wood. I'm getting all of that. I'm getting bandage, but I'm getting something a little sweeter in there. That's probably from the sherry influence as well. I'm getting tobacco. I'm getting tobacco like when you open your humidor, and I know that I'm very familiar with that smell. When you open your humidor and you have a crap load of Maduro sticks in there, and you just take a whiff. That's the whiff. I'm getting that as well in there. I'm not getting much fruit in there at all. I'm getting salinity. It's quite saline, like the docks, the wood in the docks soaked in salt. That kind of smell. You put a bit of gasoline in there and you light it, and you got some of this. I'm getting a caramel, bandage glue, some coconut, and something undefinably dank and damp that I can't put my finger on, like a cloth that's kind of moist, that's sat there for a while. It's got a little funk to it. You might think it's off-putting, but for some reason it's strangely comforting. I must say, for 58.1%, I mean, you feel it, but it's remarkably mellow for 58% alcohol. I mean, I am quite surprised. I'm getting a very, very, very lingering medicinal herbal flavor to that. I'm getting liquid rubber, a little bit of burnt tires there. It sounds like a post-apocalyptic dram. I'm getting some wet wood, leaf litter, burning wet wood, but I'm also getting a sweetness. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of distillery bottling of Laphroaig because the flavors are unintegrated, but this is just a mouthful, a noseful of flavor, and the flavor is very integrated, but everything is pronounced. So it's like every flavor you get, it's like spike, spike, spike. There's no kind of smoothness to that curve. It's like you're getting wood, you're getting sweetness, you're getting smoke. It is just a hell of a dram. I'm getting that old World War II style burn lotion in there again that I've mentioned in the past. Very quintessential Laphroaig, but it's a Laphroaig on steroids. Very salty, very meaty. I'm trying to think of what meat I'm tasting in there. I believe it's like a salami meat, you know, like a smoked, properly fermented salami, you know, like I'm getting some of that as well. The finish, super long, but I'll go through that now. I'm going to put a couple of drops of water in there. The peat subsides a lot. The burnt flavors subsides a lot with the water. I'm getting ginger, sweetness, raisins, cinnamon, obviously in a shroud of burning smoke. But overall, the nose, very similar, just less smoke, less smoke, more smoke. I'm getting leather, old wet leather. You know when you've got leather stuck up in the attic, it's all stiff and hard and you put some water in it and it softens, but it's still got that old smell. Slightly dusty, it's like going into a dusty room with books. That's what I'm smelling. Books. Old leather-bound books. That's what I'm getting. Old leather-bound books. I'm getting the meatiness still. It's oily as hell. With the water, the only difference are the differences are minor, but I think I like it with water just a little bit more. But it's so close that I would say do what I did. Start with no water. Halfway through, add some water. Let it progress. The finish is absolutely phenomenal and massive. Absolutely massive. It's oily, it's tarry, it's like bitumen, freshly sealed road. It's that kind of tar. It smells like unlit tobacco. It smells like a humidor. Dank, damp, leathery, a little bit of creaminess, some sweetness, spice, raisins. It is an absolute beast of a dram. It's not something that I could probably sit all night with. Dram maybe 2, and then I'll go to something lighter because it is super, super rich. And in terms of a cigar pairing with this, I would say, look, that dram is going to overshadow anything you've got. So, you know, you might as well go all out, go big or go home. So I'd say triple Maduro, double Maduro, Nica Rustica, Camacho triple Maduro, something that heavy, undercrowned, sun-grown, undercrowned Maduro, something super, super heavy, Liga Provida range, something so oily and heavy that it'll just match it. Just go big or go home. Have a big steak beforehand so you don't feel sick, and then have your cigar and whiskey. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. This particular dram is, you're looking at about, look, I'll probably say 200 to 250 USD. This particular dram. When SMWS releases Laphroaigs, it's always pretty pricey. Always. It's always quite old, like, and I'm talking 16, 17 and above, but it's always pretty pricey. Now, not sure how that is. It's a shame, because otherwise I'd buy more Laphroaigs at the, bottled, but it is usually pretty pricey. I would say, look, I've had bourbon ones before, but look for the sherry butt or a sherry cask, because I think that the peat is quite well balanced with the sherry. The sweetness really does subdue and mellow out the peat and just give it a good rounded feel. But yeah, look, this whiskey will be good with dark chocolate as well. I'm just thinking about it now. The plain dark chocolate with a cigar and a whiskey, ultimate indulgence, ultimate hedonism, perfect. See you again next time, and thank you for watching this episode. Please hit subscribe, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Ring that bell. Don't forget to ring that bell, please. Thank you.